this Easter, my mom whispered. Fine, but don't expect my $9,800, I said while canceling electricity, water, and internet at their house.
Don't come in. Those were the first words my mom said when she opened the door. No hug, no smile. No happy Easter, honey. Just 3 flat, quiet words that knocked the air out of my lungs.
I stood there on the porch with a bottle of wine in one hand and a basket of handmade chocolate eggs in the other. I even wore the light blue shirt she liked, the one she said brought out my eyes.
She used to say that with pride. No? She wouldn't even meet my gaze. What? I blinked. You're kidding, right? My mom glanced behind her, then stepped out and closed the door almost all the way behind her.
Just a sliver open, like I was some kind of threat. It's better if you didn't come in today, she whispered. The air around me froze. I drove 3 hours to be here. I know, she said, voice still quiet, but things are tense. And Olivia said she wouldn't come if you were here. Of course, Olivia, I should have known she was behind this. She always was. I heard laughter from inside, the clink of wine glasses. Someone, probably Uncle James, chuckled and said, "Cheers to real family being together." Then I heard her, Olivia's voice loud and sugary. Honestly, this year feels so peaceful. No negativity, no drama. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I just smiled calmly. The kind of smile that says you have no idea what's coming. You know what? I said, pulling out my phone. Fine. Enjoy your peaceful Easter, but don't expect my $9,800 anymore. My mom's face shifted. She blinked, confused. What money? She asked slowly. I looked her dead in the eye. The electricity, the water, the internet, the bills I've been paying every month for this house, the services you said you needed, just until Dad gets back on his feet. Guess what? They're in my name and I just shut them off. Her mouth opened, then closed. She turned pale. What? You didn't? Tell me you didn't. I tilted my phone. See this app? One tap. I pressed my thumb against the screen. Lights out. From inside I heard Olivia shouting. The Wi-Fi just cut off. What was that? Mom lunged for the phone, but I stepped back. Happy Easter, I said. I turned and walked back to my car. No one followed. No one apologized. As I sat behind the wheel, I saw Olivia appear in the doorway behind my mom, face red, holding her phone high. Are you crazy? We were about to have lunch. I rolled down the window and called back, "Call your real family? Maybe they'll pay the bills next month." And then I drove away. No guilt, no second thoughts. That was the moment I stopped being their personal utility company and became the ghost they couldn't exploit anymore. I used to tell myself I was helping. That I was the responsible one. That family meant sacrifice. I told myself a lot of things. Like the time my dad called me in the middle of a meeting. "Power's getting shut off," he said bluntly. "What? Again?" I whispered, stepping out into the hallway. "Just for a couple days," he said. "If you can cover it, I'll send it back by Friday." He never sent it back and I paid anyway, like always. My family has a long history of taking without asking, and me, I have a long history of letting them. When Dad lost his job 3 years ago, I stepped in to help with the utilities. When Mom needed a dental procedure that wasn't urgent but made her insecure, I covered it. When Olivia couldn't afford to renew her car lease, I co-signed the new one and paid the first 6 months.
At first it felt good. I was the dependable one, the one who had it together. But slowly that admiration turned into expectation, then entitlement, then disdain.
"You're so lucky you don't have kids," Olivia would say at dinner. "All your money is just yours. That must be nice." "You mean the money I used to pay for your bills?" I replied once. "Oh please," she scoffed. "Don't act like it's charity. You like feeling superior," Mom chimed in. She didn't mean it like that. "No, I meant exactly that," Olivia said, smirking.
"You think we should bow down because you pay a couple bills?" "A couple bills. Let's talk about a couple bills. Water, $83 per month. Electricity, $210 per month.
Internet, $89 per month. Streaming, mobile plans, random Amazon orders." I stopped counting. I checked my bank app last month and realized I'd sent $9,800 in the last 12 months alone. And yet to them I was still the bitter, selfish brother who never smiled in family photos. The worst part? I wasn't even surprised anymore. A few weeks ago I overheard a conversation I wasn't supposed to hear. I came by the house unannounced to drop off some groceries and heard laughter from the kitchen. "He's so uptight," Olivia said. "You'd think paying a few bills made him king of the world," Mom added. "He's probably just lonely," Dad chimed in. "He works too much. All that money and no one to spend it on." "At least he's good for something," Olivia said. "I'd cry if I had to pay my own internet." They all laughed. I stood frozen on the porch, grocery bags in hand. No one saw me. I turned and left without saying a word. Later that night, I canceled the autopay on their Netflix and Disney Plus. Olivia texted the next day. "Did the Wi-Fi glitch, or did you forget to pay again?" I didn't reply, but the real breaking point came 2 months ago. I logged into my bank account to transfer money and noticed something strange. Multiple Apple Pay purchases I didn't recognize. A new MacBook, a wellness retreat, subscriptions, designer clothes, all billed to the card I'd once given my mom just in case of emergencies. I called her immediately. "Did you buy a MacBook?" Oh, that was for Olivia, she needed one for work. And the retreat? She was going through a rough patch. Honestly, she was crying every night with my money. She got quiet. You make more than all of us combined, she said softly. It's not like you can't afford it. I hung up without a word. For days I debated whether to confront them. But then I remembered something Olivia had said during last Thanksgiving. We all play our roles. Mine is being fabulous. Yours is paying for the turkey. She laughed. Everyone laughed. I forced a smile and swallowed my pride. But now, I couldn't even look at a turkey without wanting to scream. Easter was supposed to be the one time of year where we all pretended to care about each other. I bought gifts for the kids, booked time off work, even made reservations for Sunday brunch. A week before I got a text from Mom. Hey sweetie, could you make sure the utility payments are squared away before the weekend? Olivia is hosting an egg hunt at the house. I didn't respond, but I paid $385 for their comfort, $0 in gratitude. And then Easter came. I showed up with wine and chocolate and they shut the door in my face. You're not welcome this Easter, my mom said. Olivia made sure I heard it. Honestly, it just feels better without the moodiness, she called from inside. Let's keep it light this year. They wanted light. I gave them darkness, as in no electricity, no water, no internet. I sat in my car and watched the house slowly dim. The porch light flickered off. The lawn sprinklers stopped. Olivia burst through the front door 5 minutes later, waving her phone like a sword. What did you do? She screamed. I rolled down the window. Enjoy Easter, I said, the way you wanted, without me. And I drove off, finally understanding that sometimes the only way to heal is to cut the cord. I didn't even make it home before the call started. First Mom, then Dad, then Olivia. Again. My phone buzzed so hard it almost slipped off the seat. I ignored all of them, until one message came in from Dad that made me laugh out loud. You're being dramatic. Come back and fix this. Fix this. You mean your water, your internet, your idea of a functional family? No thanks. They showed up at my place 2 hours later. I heard the knock but I didn't move. Let them stew. Let them feel something for once. Then I heard shouting, you're seriously going to ignore your own mother on Easter?
Open the door right now or we're calling the police, Olivia screamed. This is abuse, she yelled louder. I opened the door just as Olivia raised her hand to bang again.
She stumbled forward, nearly falling inside. Get in, I said flatly. But if any of you raise your voice, I'm calling the cops myself. They came in like a storm. Mom crying, Dad pacing, Olivia screaming. You think this is funny? We had guests over. Children, do you know what it's like to explain to a 5-year-old why the bathroom doesn't flush? Yeah, I said, sitting down. You explain to them that their aunt and uncle expect me to cover everything. Boom. Silence. Mom gasped. Olivia's eyes went wide. Dad clenched his fists. How dare you speak to your family like that? My mom snapped. Family. I raised an eyebrow. The same family who told me not to come because I ruined the vibe? The same one that laughed behind my back about how useful I am? The same one that used my money like a refillable faucet? Dad stepped forward. You're overreacting. No, I said. I'm done reacting. I'm acting. Finally. Olivia crossed her arms. You think this makes you powerful? Cutting off the utilities just to prove a point? No, I replied. This makes me free. She snorted. You're being ridiculous. Honestly, you've always had this martyr complex. You want applause for paying some bills. You mean the $9,800 I spent last year? I snapped. The money that paid for your heating, your Zoom therapy, your new iPhone? Your fake Paris business trip that was actually a spa week in Palm Springs. Her face went white. You went through my stuff? You used my credit card for the plane ticket. I get the statements, genius. Dad tried to change the subject. Okay, look, we've clearly made some mistakes. Some. I cut him off. Dad, you told me to my face that I had no place at the table, that Olivia deserved the help more because she has a future. You looked me in the eye and said that. I was angry, he said quietly. No, I said. You were honest. For once. Mom reached out. Sweetheart, please. We're family. Can we just reset? Undo what you did? No, I said coldly. Because you didn't just shut me out this Easter. You shut me out years ago. You've been fine taking what you need. But the second I say no, I'm the villain. Olivia was shaking now. She gone head-faced fury to quiet rage. You'll regret this, she said through her teeth. You think cutting us off will make you feel better? You'll be alone. Good, I said. Alone is better than being bled dry by people who smile when I walk in and spit on my name when I leave. Silence. A heavy electric silence that wrapped the whole room in static. Then I stood up. Here's what's going to happen, I said calmly. You'll find another way to pay the utilities. You'll transfer the car lease off my name within 30 days. You'll stop using my Netflix, my Spotify, and my Amazon Prime. If you don't, I'll lock it all down permanently. You wouldn't, Dad started. Try me, I said. And Mom, if you ever try to guilt trip me again with your or son, just remember, sons deserve love, not invoices. Mom started to cry. Dad looked down. Olivia? She stormed out the door, slamming it so hard a picture frame tilted sideways. And I didn't care. I didn't follow. Didn't explain. Didn't fix anything. For the first time in my life, I didn't try to make it better. I closed the door, locked it behind them, and exhaled. The war was over, and I'd finally won. The silence afterward was unreal. No calls, no texts, no sudden knocks on the door. It was like they collectively decided I didn't exist. And you know what? It felt amazing. For the first time in years, I woke up without that dull pressure in my chest. The one that whispers, "What will they need from you today?" No more scanning my bank app to check if I had enough to cover their latest emergency. No more fake group chats where they sent each other memes and left my messages on scene. No more guilt-drenched holidays where I bought gifts for everyone and got socks in return. I was free. And the quiet? The quiet was beautiful. I started sleeping better, eating better, living better. I bought a cheap secondhand guitar and started teaching myself chords. I reconnected with college friends I hadn't seen in years. I signed up for a photography class just because I'd always wanted to, but never had time or energy or space to exist. For once, every cent I earned went toward me, my rent, my groceries, my future. It felt selfish, then it felt fair, then it felt right. About a week later, Olivia posted a long Instagram story rant. Black background, white text, classic passive-aggressive drama dump. Some people will leave you when you need them most, but God sees everything, and karma is real. I didn't reply, but I did screenshot it for the laughs. A few days after that, Dad called. I stared at the screen ringing 5 times, then voicemail. "Hey, your mom's upset. Olivia's talking about selling her car. I don't know why you're doing this, but it's gone too far. We're family, call us." I didn't call. Instead, I emailed Olivia the car lease transfer forms. Deadline 14 days. Subject line, "You're welcome." Then came the real surprise. Kelly, my cousin's wife, reached out of nowhere. She was at the Easter gathering when everything blew up, standing quietly in the background as Olivia cursed, and my mom clutched her pearls like I'd murdered someone.
She messaged me late one night. "I know this might be weird, but I just wanted to say thank you. I've never seen anyone in this family stand up for themselves like that."
Honestly, it made me realize a lot about how they treat people. You didn't deserve that. I hope you're doing okay. I just stared at the message for a while. Someone saw it. Someone finally saw me. I wrote back, "I'm better than okay for the first time in a long time." But of course, peace never lasts forever in my family. 2 weeks later, I came home to find a letter taped to my apartment door. No return address. Inside was a handwritten note from my mom. The first line, "We raised you better than this." The last, "You'll always be our son, even if you've forgotten what that means." I folded it in half, tossed it in the trash, and went out for tacos. Because here's the thing they'll never understand. I didn't forget what family means. They never knew. They thought love was control. That money equaled obedience. That silence meant agreement. That sacrificing yourself was proof of loyalty. But me, I finally knew better. Now I walk into my own apartment and it's quiet. Not because I'm unwanted, but because I want the silence. I light a candle, put on some music, sit by the window and breathe. No one's waiting for me to fail. No one's asking for a wire transfer. And for once, I don't feel like a backup plan in someone else's life. I feel like the main character in mine. You know what's wild? The world didn't end. The day I told my family I was done, the sky didn't crack open. No thunder, no lightning bolt of regret, just silence and freedom. And for someone like me, someone who lived his whole damn life playing the role of the good son, that silence was everything. It wasn't empty. It was peaceful. It wasn't lonely. It was quiet. The kind of quiet that makes space for your own voice to come back. Because for years, I couldn't even hear mine anymore. I'd wake up and immediately start calculating who I needed to save that day. Mom needed $300 for a temporary gas bill. Olivia's account got frozen, and she had a concert she couldn't miss.
Dad's credit card payment was late and would destroy his score if I didn't jump in. Every time I said yes, I shrunk a little. They didn't ask. They expected.
They didn't fake. They joked. They didn't see me. They used me and I let them. Because I thought that was what love was supposed to feel like, suffocating. I thought being needed was the same as being wanted, but it's not. Being used is not the same thing as being loved. It took one slammed door and a disconnected power line to finally understand that. After Easter, the messages stopped. No more threats, no more pleas, no more guilt bombs with bows on top. It's like I died, and they were too polite to say it. But that ghost face? It gave me the clearest view of my own life I've ever had. I started asking myself questions no one had ever let me ask before. What do I want? Who am I outside of them? What happens if I stop being their lifeline? And you know what I found? Breath, space, joy. I learned how to cook for myself. Real meals, not just cereal and shame. I joined a local music jam on Saturdays. I started writing short stories, poetry, heck, even this. Turns out there's a whole person under the guilt. Then one evening, weeks after the fallout, I ran into someone at a bookstore. A girl I used to know in college, Rachel. She looked different, happier, lighter. We got coffee, started talking, and at some point she asked, "Are you still close with your family?" I paused. Then I said it, really said it, for the first time without flinching. "No." I cut them off. She blinked, and then she smiled. Good, I laughed. I wasn't expecting that. Most people just stare at me like I confessed to murder. She shrugged. Most people don't know what it's like to be the family doormat. We talked for hours about boundaries, about healing, about finally choosing yourself without apologizing for it. That night, walking home, I realized I wasn't broken anymore. I was rebuilding from the ground up without them, and that was okay. Weeks turned into months. I started noticing little things that meant everything. I no longer jumped when my phone rang. I no longer stared at my bank account with dread. I no longer checked Olivia's social media waiting for the next jab. And one day I found myself laughing, actually laughing at a meme someone sent me. It hit me like a wave. Holy well, I'm happy. Not because something amazing happened, but because nothing was draining me anymore. Because for the first time in forever, I wasn't someone else's crutch. I was just me, alive, awake, untangled. Then final twist, I got a voicemail from Mom. Her voice was shaky, soft, almost fragile. Hi sweetheart, I hope you're okay. Olivia's been going through a hard time. The house has been different without you. I know you're angry. I know we messed up, but you're still our son. We love you. I miss you. I listened to the message twice, and for the first time I didn't cry. I didn't feel pulled back in. I didn't feel guilt or rage. I just felt done. And that feeling, it wasn't cold. It was warm, like standing in the sun after years in the shade. So here's what I know now. Saying no doesn't make you cruel. Setting boundaries doesn't make you heartless. And walking away from toxic people, even if their blood isn't betrayal, it's survival. And yeah, maybe my name is now a curse word at their dinner table. Maybe they'll twist the story. Make me the villain, the ungrateful, the cold-hearted. Let them. They're not in my life anymore, and my life is finally mine. So if you're reading this and you're tired of being the one who always gives, always forgives, always sacrifices while they laugh behind your back, let me be the proof. You're allowed to stop. You're allowed to walk away. You're allowed to choose you. And if they ever tell you you're not welcome, you say, good, I didn't come here to be welcome. I came to stop bleeding. Then you stand tall, walk out the door, and never look back, because peace isn't a place they give you. It's the place you reclaim when you finally say enough.
Thank you for watching. Like, share, and follow.